Well, as a great Englishman once said, lovely jubbly. Serbia 0, England 5. A good performance. I'm not going to sit here and say that was an unbelievable, here we go, England are going to win the World Cup, it's coming home performance, but it was a really good performance. I would say that every single player on the pitch today was a 7, 8 out of 10. I wouldn't say there was any 10 out of 10 performances, but there wasn't a single performance today from an England player that was under 7 out of 10. And that is the important thing. And that is the encouraging thing for England going forward over the course of the next 12 months as we build up to the World Cup, especially when you consider that this isn't necessarily our first team squad. If anything, it's not even close to our first team squad when you consider the likes of Bellingham, Palmer, Foden, Saka, Trent, and a few others not even in this squad. But it was a really, really good performance today. And that's what's encouraging for me, is that we can just play at a level that is good enough to beat these teams. And I think what people tend to forget, especially when they see performances like the Andorra game, is that we are an elite level country in terms of producing football and talent right now. We are an incredibly, incredibly good football team, which has so much depth in terms of talent. And this is what I'm saying. This was not a blow away performance from England tonight, but it was a very good performance, and it was the performance we needed to get the victory that we needed. And I don't really think I need to go into much more detail on that. This is what I'm saying. We were 20, 30% against Andorra, but because it was Andorra, we beat them 2-0. Tonight, we were 70, 80%. Even for the players that are on the pitch, I still think we could have performed better than we did tonight, but it was enough to beat Serbia 5-0. And this, that's not me saying Serbia are a bad team either, by the way. Serbia are a very good team. They've got very talented players in their squad. You look at the likes of Milenkovic and Vlahovic and, okay, maybe the likes of Kostic and Mitrovic are a little bit older than they used to be, but they have a lot of Premier League players in their team. They have a lot of top 5 league players in their starting lineup tonight. And essentially, England's B team have performed at 80% of their maximum level and have beaten them 5-0 because that's just how good we are. And, you can sing praises of Thomas Tuchel for tonight's performance, for the setup, for the attitude, for the consistency throughout the game. But ultimately, I just think it's because we're a really good team. I'm not going to sit here and say that off the back of this performance, oh my God, imagine when we start putting Palmer and Saka and all that into the team, we're going to win the World Cup easily. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we're an elite level footballing country right now. And the quality of players we have available to us allow us to play not even at 100% and still easily beat countries like Serbia. And that is the real positive for England tonight, is that we have proven what sort of status of a footballing country we are right now. That's what I'm most impressed with. We can put out a team like that, play at a really solid level, and beat a decent footballing country like Serbia away from home and in convincing fashion. So, yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say. As I said, for me, there was no standout performance. I think every single player did their job. I could sing the praises of every single player that put on an England shirt tonight. Everyone did their job to the best, well, maybe not necessarily to the best of their abilities, but to the ability level necessary of them to produce the result that they got. So, as an England fan, I'm absolutely thrilled with 5 games out of 5, 5 victories out of 5, 0 goals conceded, and well, I think we're, 1 victory now away from guaranteed qualification for the World Cup next summer. We've got Latvia as our next competitive game after a friendly against Wales. So hopefully this time in a month, we'll be packing our bags for the United States and Mexico. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, job done. Very happy with England's performance. Let me know who you think deserved man of the match tonight. How much confidence does this performance fill you in regards to England's chances of not even just qualifying for the World Cup, but competing for the World Cup? Has any of the players that have played over the last 2 games done enough to convince you that they should be starting over the so-called superstars that are surely going to start coming back into the team over the October and the November international breaks? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.